Hello. Good morning. I think we're already recording. Oh, it is 9:30, isn't it? So we have one of my favorite site agents and then our guest speaker on here. And gosh, y'all, we might be talking to ourselves today. So good morning. So I'll get through it. I'm recording it anyway, so I will still share it to my YouTube and my Facebook pages. I wasn't sure about attendance with it being a holiday, so we'll see. And some people will jump on late, so we'll get started. Monday's motivation today. There we go. Well, that was last week's, but anyway, I didn't change it out. But still good. It's worth remembering the times of greatest gains in terms of wisdom and inner strength is often that of greatest difficulty as we've gone through COVID 2020. It's Memorial Day. What are you doing for fun? Please make a conscious effort to create some downtime. As a real estate coach, and I don't know if my psychology degree works or not, but I try to coach people in regards to not just their business. It's not just about the numbers. It's about having a more purposeful and intentional life, right? And I don't like the word balance because there is no balance when you're in real estate, but definitely making sure that you do have some good moments in your personal life. Your health has to be good, and of course, your business as well. So we always have to take care of ourselves first, and that's not selfish, because if you aren't whole, then you're only giving broken parts of yourself to others anyway. So I've talked about this in other Monday calls, but the Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents, and he has them, Hal Elrod is one of the authors, and he's one of the authors of the 7 Levels of Communication, but he wrote the Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. Again, he wrote it for different professions, and there's a generic one for just everybody, but he talks about this concept. It was his concept, not mine. But there are 6 things we should do every morning to take care of ourselves first. And then we go into the world and do whatever we do in business. And most of us are in a service business where we do have to help others in whatever their needs are. But it's the first hour of the day needs to be for us. Who to call? This is where realtors fail. They sit around and think that just posting little static and sharing pictures that everybody else is using on social media is going to make their phone ring. It baffles me, but it's my job to communicate that that doesn't work. So we have to be purposeful in our business, and we have to reach out to people. So my goal for everybody, or suggestion for everybody today, I know it's a holiday, that's a great reason to reach out to people. You don't even have to talk about real estate today. But I'm hoping that everybody that either is on here live or will see this later will reach out to 20 people today. They're going to be home or on their boats or something. Unless they're in real estate, they're not at work. So either via a phone call, obviously we know person-to-person contact is best, or a text or a DM, or particularly if you know what their preferred mode of communication is, reach out to them and just wish them a happy day. They claim it's going to rain, which they claim every day up here in Northeast Florida. So, you know, they never get it right, but they might actually get it right today. It's very gray and windy out there. They say that, I guess we've got a lot of rough seas and rip currents, and inland, you're more likely to get rain than actually at the coast, but the winds are going to be so high, it's not going to be a day to sit on the beach anyway, whether you get the showers or not. So they're going to be home. So if you're aware that the people you're going to reach out to, you need to have a target list, number one. We always have to have a target audience, number one, for connecting with people for real estate. So if you're aware that they've lost somebody due to military service, perhaps the person is even passed of cancer, maybe they were exposed to some kind of chemicals right during their service wherever they were located. So it doesn't have to be because they were, heaven forbid, you know, lost their life due to a bombing or some horrible, horrible thing like that. But if they have passed somehow related to their military service, that's what we're honoring and remembering today. So if you know somebody who's lost their son or their daughter or their spouse or something like that, or a parent, you know that this might be a sad day for them. So just reach out and simply let them know that you're thinking of them. It's just that simple. You don't have to say, hey, and by the way, who do you know? We don't have to do that today. So again, today is, like I just said, is to honor, remember, and respect those that have fallen. Veterans Day in November 11th, is when we thank those that have served or are still serving and they're still with us. So we honor the ones that are still alive. Today is about the ones that have fallen. So news you can use regarding open houses. Here's the latest and greatest per Florida Realtors. Up here in the Northeast Florida market, I don't think our tab has been activated yet for us to actually host open houses. It's still being discouraged in our area. I don't know about other parts of the state. However, Florida Realtors, which affects all of us, effective just a few days ago, came up with new guidelines for open houses. And they're still recommending that we do virtual when possible. So there's all these do's and don'ts. And one thing I want everybody to be cognizant of is it's not just up to you or what the seller wants. And I know some people offer to do open houses for sale by owners, which is a great way to get your foot in the door, haha, so to speak, play on words, for sale by owners. So this includes that as well. But this also refers to, you also got to check the rules of the condo or the HOA. I know specifically where I live, it says on the website, the HOA website, open houses are not permitted right now. So, and they change our pool rules every other day to who is and isn't allowed to be in the pool. And they've opened up our tiny, tiny, tiny little fitness room to 2 people, which I don't think you can fit more in there anyway. But the point is, it's not just up to you and the seller. If the seller wants an open house, like it says, this is not business as usual. So you need to, these are good guidelines. You can get them through Florida Realtors. I can email them to you, whatever. But you can find it at floridarealtors.org, coronavirus. There's all our latest and greatest on how we are supposed to conduct business these days. Last call, guys, last call. So NAR right here, right now was a campaign that was started during the recession to provide us with up-to-date tools and educational stuff and resources to keep us alive and sustainable right through the recession. So they reactivated the website with current stuff. So there are plenty of CE courses and certification courses that are free. The courses are free. And then the certification, if you want the actual certification so you can use those cool little initials behind your name, then those are about 50% off right now. But here's the deal. It expires May 31st. Tick tock, today's the 25th. You have a week. On that note, don't forget that if your license was set to renew March 31st, you should have really done your CEs by now, because really you should plan ahead. But anyway, under executive orders, it was postponed to May 31st. So again, tick tock, you have 1 week to get your CEs in for your May 31st license renewal that should have been done in March. And of course, that means if you're past your first probationary period, you have to have your 14 hours. If you're brand new and you've only been doing this for less than 2 years, it's a 45-hour course. So you better start today. And the NEFAR contract, a lot of people use the Florida, the FAR bar. Some other areas and associations use a local contract written by an attorney. But the NEFAR for Northeast Florida Association Realtors, they have revised their contract again. So that make sure that you're using the current version, or actually your offer will be invalid. Social media tip. We are launching into space again for the first time since 2012. So I think it's set right now Wednesday at 4, and you guys know that can change depending on the winds and the weather and all that jazz too. So keep an eye on that. But you know what? Why don't you just host a watch party? Because we know school's out, and so people are still at home, and that's a monumental event. Some of our little mini peoples have never seen a space launch. So you know that if you go to one of the Facebook pages for your one of your local news channels, that they'll be broadcasting it live. And so you can hit the right buttons and host a watch party on your page. So think about doing that through your business page. Just a tip for this week. So business tips. I keep saying it's May 25th. We are a week away from launching into June. First of all, just a reminder, of course, June 1st begins our amazing hurricane season for the year. We've already had our first named storm. So keep, start getting all your prep work done. That's one reason, as I've been saying for the past few weeks, to reach out to your sphere and your past customers and anybody who could be a potential source of business, is help them get their hurricane supply list together. And there's all types of other things they can do. They need to schedule those tree trimmers to trim those palm trees, and they might need to just go ahead and cut down those hardwoods like the pines that have dead roots. So they need to prep now. So that's one way to reach out to people. But more importantly, I want everyone to create their business plan. Nobody does one. You need to do one. If you're in real estate, you own your own business. So I do an annual one. I actually in the past week or so have obviously revised my numbers for 2020, as we all probably should. I know a handful of people were lucky enough, or perhaps it's just that they have a great business plan already in place, that Corona was not much of a hiccup to them. Most of us, it has been. So forget about the past 5 months. Let's start with June. Let's make June day one of 2020. Create a plan, and don't worry about the whole year right now. Just focus on June. Do you have your social media posts mapped out? Do you know when you're going to post, what you're going to say, what and when? So I keep mine on my Google Calendar, and I don't have the very specific one each time. That's what I need to work on, because that will save me time. Oftentimes, my reminder pops up like, man, it's time to post something about that. And so I go and Google it real quick and create it. And that takes more time than if I have the whole month mapped out, right? And of course, if you're using your business page, you can schedule posts anyway. How great would it be if you dedicate one day a month, the week prior to the beginning of the new month, to create all your social media posts, or most of them. Some stuff you will want to do on the fly as it's current information. So think about that. Social media is where a business derives. Know how many people you're going to contact. Like I just said, reaching out to people today, Memorial Day. Who are you going to contact each day? How many people, and what will you say? So you need to also commit on paper to a specific number of buyer consultations and listing appointments that you will have, because you're not going to capture everybody. You're not going to want to work with some of them, and some of them aren't going to work with you. So you need to have a number that you're going to shoot for so that you can capture some of the business. If you need help with this, that's exactly what somebody like me as a real estate coach helps guide you through. So as we move on, the most cost-effective way to earn referrals in new business is from your fan club, people that you know. So love on them. It's so much easier to get business from people that already know you, again, through real life, your past customers, your family, your friends. If you have a full-time job and this real estate is you're diving into it, utilize that unless it's considered a conflict of interest. So social media is a great way to keep in touch with people. That's why we do it. There's many, many other ways, and we have a guest that will talk about that in a minute. But as you create your June business plan in writing, it has to have measured, specific, and obtainable goals. Now, I don't want you to put something easy like, I'm just going to get one contract. That's too vague. But obtainable means with a little effort, you can do more than you probably thought you should. So again, know your numbers. How many contacts do you have to make before somebody sends you a lead? Is it normally you got to make 20 calls before somebody shows up with a name and number for you? Is it 25? Is it 56? Most people don't track this. That's what you do in coaching. How many people are you going to touch? So, and what I mean by touch is not physically, of course. We have our social distancing, What I mean is, are you going to call them? Are you going to mail them a birthday card? Are you going to send them a gift? More on this in a minute. So how often? I don't want you touching out to people every week, guys. They're going to ghost you and block you on social media. Are you sourcing your business? When you go to the closing table, do you put them in a database and set them up on a plan to keep in touch with them? Do you know, are they coming from leads, which I discourage you to buy, but do you have a lead system? Or is everybody coming from your people that know you already? Are you mostly a strong referral-based business? That's the ideal thing to do. So moving on to that note, I would like to introduce our guest, and I will tell him right now that I have failed him because my little, actually I may have it here. So I'd like to introduce to you now, Tyler Kaplan is with Cutting Edge Gifts, and he's here to speak with us for a few minutes on how you can leverage your client or customer gifts to make more money and grow your business. He has a whole touch plan for you. So the gifting concierge services put easy systems into place that will help save you time and money while permanently branding yourself in your client's home. So with no further ado, we have Tyler Kaplan.
All right. Thank you so much, Christine. I actually don't know whether I should continue with the talk that I had planned or just give a bunch of feedback and build upon the stuff that you just spoke about, because I mean, I was taking notes on just the quickest piece of paper that I could find, because I wanted to touch on some of the things, and a lot of the stuff is actually what I'm going to be speaking about. So I'm glad that this was the first call that I decided to hop on of yours. So thank you, first of all, for having me. I'm only going to take a couple of your minutes. I did want to touch on how Elrod actually used to work for Cutco Cutlery before he got into that really big car accident that propelled his life on one of coaching and growing and developing others. So that's really cool.
You just gave me chills. I had no idea. And he's just like, he's one of my mentors. Isn't he awesome?
Yeah, he worked for Cutco when he was, I believe, in like 1988, and he was a Hall of Fame member very early on. He started developing other new representatives, and he did a lot for our company, and he still does. He's one of the company's coaches for our management team. So he's been awesome to us. He's been awesome to people all around the world. He's written like 20 or so books on the Miracle Morning, and copied that for each specific type of person, like the real estate agent, the college student, so it's really awesome. And from that, I actually do, so just touching on some of the things that I wanted to hit on, I do a power hour every morning, or every once a week. I do a power day once a month, and I do a power weekend once a year. So I get my week planned with my hour, I get my month planned with my day, and I get my year planned with my year. Or with my weekend. And I usually do like the weekend at the end of, in like December to plan the next year. I do my hour every Sunday, and I do my day, once a month whenever I don't have things in the pipeline. So having that and having SMART goals, so specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time specific. You were just talking about goals, and the SMART acronym is a really great way to get them specific, but I make sure I hit my daily goals every single day before I can even think about hitting a campaign goal or a quarter goal or a yearly goal. And so I'll go into what I had prepared now. Before I talk about what our gifts and what our company does, I wanted to touch on 3 actionable steps that you can take right now to move forward in your business. Whether your business has been affected by the changes that have been going on over the last several months or it hasn't, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give you 3 actionable and simple steps that you can implement in your business immediately, starting today, since it is a holiday. Great way to get started, an excuse to get started, in fact. But 3 things to implement to get your business moving immediately. Because the question is, what are you doing right now to get buyers and sellers? What systems do you have in place for that? What I'm going to share with you is what I like to call my daily 10, 5, 2. And you want to write this down. My daily 10, are you making 10 value add resource calls per day? So are you loving on your sphere just as a realtor, or are you a resource as well? I like to pride myself as a resource to my realtors in any way that I can. I'm fairly new to the realty industry, so I'm not, the most experienced, but my promise to my clients is that I'll at least get them in touch with the person that can get them the answer or solution that they need. So be that resource for your clients. People are having issues right now that maybe they haven't noticed over the last couple years because they've been stuck at home more. Maybe it's their plumbing, maybe it's their electric, maybe it's getting food to someone else, or maybe it's childcare for someone. Maybe they need help from you as a resource to get introduced to the right mortgage broker to get them the loan that they can defer payments on. The point is, make those tiny baby steps right now to lock in and solidify deeper relationships and brand yourself as a resource to your clients. So make those 10 value add calls every day, maybe starting with your top 10 to 20% of your client base. Next is the daily 5. The daily 5. Are you sending out 5 handwritten letters or gifts every single day. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, is this knife guy really telling me to send out 5 Cutco gifts every single day? Now, while that would be great and I could retire early, that's not the most economically affordable thing to do. But it takes very little time to write a handwritten letter. I keep them actually in my desk. So that way, whenever I'm working, if I close an order or if I think of someone that I could send a letter out to, I have it right with me. Throw a sticker in there, a pen, something extra just to make them smile. I've done Band-Aids in my thank you letters just because our knives are really sharp and high quality. I've done alcohol wipes just as a little social distancing type of joke. But again, who are we sending these to? If you've heard of the 80-20 rule from Forbes, you know that 80% of your business will come from 20% of your clients. So love on that 20%. Just like 20% of these actionable steps that you should take could produce 80% of your business after this call. So now let's not forget about the other 80% of your clients, but think about 1, 2, 3-year house anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, holidays. There's so many occasions that we could be celebrating with our clients. And I've personally had clients invite me over for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And if you haven't had that, or if you haven't gotten a job offer or, just an invitation to something into your clients' personal lives, then you haven't been building that deep connection with them and they don't trust you enough to make that invitation in the first place. So that might be an indication if you've never gotten those, invitations before, what am I doing right now to appreciate my clients? The last thing is 2 value-add social media posts a day. You don't want to be the reason why your client wakes up on social media and goes back to sleep because they see all the negativity, all the coronavirus stuff. So make two posts a day on your favorite recipe or something awesome that happened in the news or something cool that you want to share with your clients, or maybe something valuable to them like an article that really gave you some insight into the market. Make 2 social media posts a day. That's what we've been doing here at Cutting Edge Gifts is our 10-5-2s, and business has been booming. We've had more growth this year, the same time this year than last year, while completely being completely digital. And people who ask us how business has been, I say, business has been booming, and I might add, because I choose it to be. So just make sure that you're taking the time to work on your business because everybody's being stuck at home. People aren't doing their daily routine as usual. So I've taken this added time in my schedule and worked on my business. So the way that we spread our business is through our closing gifts. This will be my last about a minute. Thank you so much, Christine. Perfect time. This is Cutco cutlery. It's guaranteed forever. It's been around since the 40s, and it's made in Olean, New York, an American-made product being sold right now. But if you think about it, when's another time in history where people, that we've been alive at least, that people have been stuck at home using knives and cooking more than ever? It's really awesome because it's branded with your information. It's kind of hard to see, but we put your logo, name, and number right on the product itself. So every single time your client uses their Cutco knife, boom, they're right there in your kitchen. It's the definition of a good gift. One they'll use every single day. Will remind them of you because your branding's right on there. And it's in the #1 spot where people gather the most, according to NAR, the kitchen. So it's priceless, permanent branding in your client's kitchen. And it's 100% tax deductible because we put your marketing information on it. So you can write it off at 100% as marketing as opposed to $25 for your closing gifts. You're spending the money anyway, so we want to transfer the funds into something that's going to grow your business even more. To make it easy for you, what we do is we set you either up with a half-year or a full-year supply of gifts. That way, when it's time to give, you just grab and go. Plus, we take the total cost and we spread it over 6 months interest-free so you don't have to pay for it all at once. So if you're ready to stop worrying about your closing gifts and make more money, take out your phones right now and open your messages app. To find out more about our gifts, text your name and your email to my number, which is 772-285-9274. It's on the screen with my class special that Christine is putting up, but I'll also leave it in the chat, and Christine has it if anybody else is interested. The first 5 people that reach out either from the live webinar or who see the recording of this, the first 5 that reach out are going to get an extra $50 in free Cutco, but everybody who follows up with me after this call will get $100 in free Cutco with their first order. So if you want $100 in free Cutco with your first order, go ahead and shoot me a text. If you want 150, be the first 5. At the end of the day, friends, it's my job to help you make more money, have less stress, and entertain you with my charming personality. And I look forward to doing all 3. Thank you so much, Christine. And I hope you guys got value from that.
Thank you so much. We are on the same page in regards to, it's got to be intentional and purposeful. Little gifts mean a lot. I've been handwriting Easter cards, Mother's Day cards, obviously Father's Day is next. And I'm not actually sending them to everybody. It's not pre-printed that I ordered from Vistaprints. I'm handwriting them from the dollar store.
Yeah,
right?
that's the best way too, because they know you put in the effort, and they're not expecting it too. So they really, it brings you top of mind. It makes them feel appreciated and thought of.
And that's part of what you do, right? It's not, I want people to understand you're not just here pitching knife selling. You have a whole program to help with the touches throughout the year, correct?
Yeah, we have automatic gift campaigns where we can automatically, on your behalf, send gifts to your clients, either on their anniversary of their closing. Our main gifts are for closing gifts. So you'll give these to your clients on the day of closing with, whatever else you hand them. And we give you a letter to explain the quality of the gift and why you're giving them Cutco as opposed to a wine basket. Because you could say when you're giving Cutco as a closing gift, hey, I could have given you a gift card, I could have given you a wine basket, but those are going to be gone in about a day, a week, a month. And I wanted to give you Cutco because I wanted it to be a symbol of our relationship. Cutco is guaranteed forever and it's really high quality. So I want that to be a reminder of my service to you. High quality and guaranteed forever.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are on board. So thank you for joining us today. And like I said, this for those of you who couldn't join this morning, that as I look out my living room window, I see somebody kayaking, there's boats going by, there's cars. So some of you are out and about before the rains that are supposedly going to come. So, or if you're having breakfast, or maybe you're sleeping in, it's a holiday, then we will be rebroadcasting this so that those of you that weren't here with us live today will have the opportunity to meet with us anyway. So as we wrap up, like we always do, and for those of you that aren't live, feel free to comment on the rebroadcast later on social media. Please share with us your successes. It's not bragging. I don't want to see a gazillion posts on social media, but oh my God, I just had another closing this week. That real estate isn't about us. It's about how we serve others, okay? But feel free to share your wins. I'm super stoked. I showed homes yesterday. We are going to write an offer, because contract, we don't have control over that. This week, we have to wait till Thursday for a specific purpose. But in any event, right after this call, I'm leaving to go show new construction to a friend. I'm super stoked. I did a lot of the background work and she knew the specific community she wanted, got her on the VIP list, got me on the VIP list, made sure we were linked up together. So I will be paid for the transaction. She's already pre-approved. She's showing up with her checkbook. We have a private meeting right after this call. So I'm super stoked. So what are you doing to create business like that? Think about who you can help. If you're interested in a coach and mentor for some of these things we've talked about to help put together a concierge program to keep in touch with your past customers, or put together your business plan, that's what I'm here for. They are private sessions, confidential via Zoom or phone call. There's my contact info, and I just want to thank everybody for showing up today. So happy Monday, happy holidays. See you guys next time.
Bye. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.